New striker Timo Werner is back to lead the line, and there's a debut for the Atalanta left-back Robin Gosens. Unmistakable figure of Sergio Ramos, who will greet his Real Madrid teammate with the exchange of pennants and handshakes.
Guys, good luck. Good luck.
The rest for the players who participated in the Champions League final, not for the referee, Italian Daniele Orsato taking charge of his 27th international. Now, much conjecture over the Spain lineup with the return of Luis Enrique as coach. He called up 8 uncapped players. Only one of them, winger Ferran Torres, starts. Torres recently joined Manchester City from Valencia. 2010 World Cup winners Ramos, Busquets and Navas all play, with Jesus Navas fielded as a winger just a month short of his 35th birthday. David De Gea returns in goal. Pau Torres wins just his 2nd cap. And Rodrigo is the main striker, newly signed by Leeds United. Cavernous stands of a stadium that normally can accommodate more than 60,000 people. Toni Kroos, winning his 97th cap, says it's got to the stage now where Jogi Löw doesn't ring him to say he's been called up. He only rings him up if he's leaving him out of the squad. And cap number 171 for Sergio Ramos. No taking of the knee. Still a salutary pause before the kick-off. This fixture has been a European Championship final, a World Cup semi-final, now Germany against Spain, the launching pad for a fresh edition of the UEFA Nations League. Alongside me, on commentary duty today, a man who began his senior professional career in German club football with 1860 Munich, Taylor Twellman. But where's the balance of power between these two at the moment, would you say? Can you tell us?
No, I don't think so. And I think the results with these two nations more often ending in a draw has shown that. Now, from the Germans' perspective today, even the graphic from the world feed has the lineup wrong. They're going to go 3 in the back. Emre Can's going to play as a right center back. Sula's going to play as the center back with Rudiger on his left. And there was much conversation from Jogi Löw. How would they line up today? Well, they're going to come out in a 3-4-3 and mainly just get Sané and Draxler playing off of Werner up front. But the most important thing here is the 3 in the back is to allow the high pressure to get Spain out of that rhythm in possession.
Return of international football after nearly 10 months. The last time these two were in action was in European Championship qualification fixtures in mid-November. Had high hopes what would befall them at Euro 2020. Have to wait another 9 months before finding out what is in store for them in that regard. The football calendar all over the place, a poignant occasion for Luis Enrique. His daughter Jana died of bone cancer a year ago this week at the tender age of just 9. Luis Enrique took a leave of absence from the job. Actually resigned, was replaced by Roberto Moreno, who then, it seemed, in a pre-arranged move, resigned to allow Luis Enrique to return, and Luis Enrique decided that he didn't like the cut of Roberto Moreno's jib and failed to offer him a job on his staff. But Roberto Moreno had been too keen to take the job on a long-term basis. Accused him of disloyalty.
But there feels like there's a renewed energy within this Spanish group, John. And I think in large part because of so many uncapped, inexperienced players, as you see Draxler a little too eager with that run. And I think there's some excitement for the Spanish national team of what these young players can do and that energy. They're unbeaten in their last 11 games. Enrique is extremely confident with this group, even though they are so inexperienced, saying this group right now would be his team if the European Championships kicked off today. It's an intriguing team, to say the least, I think, going into next summer if the Euros 2021 do happen.
And let's hope they do. Emre Can. Actually played as a centre-half in a back four in Germany's last game before the enforced break. Sergio Ramos.
These games take on a different meaning now, though, don't they, John? With COVID-19 and that unknown world, these guys haven't been together since November of last year, and you don't know what the future is going to bring. So both managers intrigued with the opportunity to see some new combinations, but also trying to shore up some things tactically. So if they don't see each other until next summer, at least they've got a little bit of an idea of what works and what doesn't.
Should add, in the interest of fairness, that whilst international managers like Jogi Löw are delighted to have something to do again, their club counterparts are less than happy. In fact, many of them are seething that a double international date has been shoehorned into a space that is only 20 days long between the Champions League final and the start of many of the elite leagues across Europe. But needs must. 2 Nations League fixtures apiece for the participating nations in each of September, October and November. And then the top 4 from the groups in League A going forward to the finals tournament, which is going to be in September or October of 2021. Timo Werner. Emre Can. Referee playing a good advantage. Ferran Torres.
And this is the last thing Emre Can wants to happen today, is just be exposed 1v1 with Torres, who's very dynamic, very vertical player. Can doing a good job of not allowing Torres to pick up his head and go right at him 1v1 with pace. So good tackle, good message early on from Emre Can.
Last time these sides met was a friendly in Dusseldorf 2.5 years ago. It finished, as so often, between these two sides, all square at 1 apiece. Sergio Ramos. That was by Rudiger. "55 countries, all of the constituent parts of UEFA taking part in the Nations League. It is reasonably lucrative. The 2019 winners Portugal earned just over 10 million euros. This is a reshuffled format compared to the first edition of the tournament. It was with something of a sigh of relief that that format was announced by UEFA, certainly in German quarters, because they had been relegated, having failed to win any of their 4 fixtures in the last Nations League. But that threat of relegation was removed by the reorganisation of the group structure. Clearly a foul. Thiago in the heat of the midfield battle.
Well, Thiago Busquets are having a difficult time of dealing with Julian Draxler and Gundogan, who are putting real good pressure on them. And that's the one thing that stood out for me from Jogi Löw, how transparent he was yesterday in the press conference regarding his tactics, regarding his formation, and what he wants to try to do tonight. Very open, and we've seen that 8 minutes in.
The heavily inked figure of Toni Kroos. Gosens. The disappointment etched on the face of the goalkeeper De Gea as the ball is straight back in German possession. two nations were represented in a high-profile football match not so very long ago, semi-final of the Champions League. A spectacular event. Bayern scoring 8 against Barcelona. Kroos through for Werner, and Werner is offside. Timo Werner, who's settling into new club surroundings at Chelsea.
Extremely close there from Pau Torres. You just love the ability from Toni Kroos, anywhere on the field, the ability to open up the game with one pass. Timo Werner playing off the back shoulder. Timing his run perfectly, just a little too soon, but it's that ball from Toni Kroos that can open up the game in the blink of an eye.
Thiago.
Speaking of open up the game.
Jesus Navas.
Little surprised Navas is in as a winger, you?
Yeah, back to the future for him. He's only a month short of his 35th birthday. A flying winger for so long, but more recently a wing-back and sometimes a full-back. Ferran Torres.
And if we're being honest, it's almost as if the wing-back, full-back position has actually suited Navas more than being an old natural winger.
A couple of housekeeping issues to do with the UEFA Nations League. Even Jogi Löw was unsure yesterday as to how many substitutions he was going to be able to make. A reference to the UEFA handbook still has it as 3 rather than an increase to 5. And no VAR at this stage of the Nations League. That only comes in for the finals tournament in the autumn of next year. Werner. Gosens. And in towards Kara.
Just great reaction here early on from the Germans. Turn the ball over from the Spanish and then get going the other way. Two-touch passing, intricate movement, and then Toni Kroos with the ability to play it over the top for Kara making that run on that back post. But great work from the Germans to break down the Spanish defense, but then play the other way.
Kroos' corner. Kevin Trapp winning only his 4th cap at the age of 30 tonight. Manuel Neuer given a rest after his exertions with Bayern. Only 15 days away from the start of the Bundesliga season. Robin Gosens has been knocking on the German national team door for a while. Prolific season, 10 goals.